Hi, I'm Laura, end-of-life mentor and grief coach. If you're tuning into my YouTube channel for the first time, welcome. I tend to like to talk about two big elephants in the room, grief and death. I grew up in a home with elephants in every room. That is because my mom collected them. I think I was influenced, and I was definitely influenced by losing her to cancer when I was 19. I've been in the end-of-life care field ever since as a former hospice worker, an in-home caregiver for the dying, and a death doula. I've supported many deaths over the years, as well as grievers. And this is a time and a phase of life we tend to not want to talk about, and it has great impact on all of us. It also has a lot of capacity and opportunity, I have found, for connection and love. If you hear something that's helpful, supportive, please subscribe. What I want to talk about is the need to start to develop a daily practice of tending to our grief. When we have lost someone fairly recently, it's so raw and acute, and our nervous system is like up to here with what it's dealing with and calibrating in this new way of life without our loved one in it. We're having to just recognize a whole new way of being. And so what I suggest is getting a daily practice and developing a daily practice. At this time when things are kind of hard, it's like there's a tendency of our mind to be like, well, why would I want to discipline myself to do one more thing when things are already hard? And that is true. We want to go easy on ourselves. We want to rest a lot during this time because we are up to here and working so hard. But we want to be really disciplined about the things that are going to help us and be self-care and be helpful during this time and supportive so that we have an easier go at this time. And one of those things is tending to our grief daily. And I like to think of it, if somebody tells you they're a gardener, you know that they're going to be gardening daily. They're tending to that garden. They're watering it, they're weeding, they're tending to it daily. They're not just once in a while a gardener. Same thing with someone who's properly grieving, and I don't even want to say properly. There's no right or wrong, but this is something that can help so much and just help it go a little bit more smooth. And it's also a spiritual practice. Just starting with 10 minutes a day can make all the difference. 10 minutes a day. Best time is probably in the morning, and that's because it's setting the tone during the day. You've already given energy to it, whether it's writing, whether it's just talking out loud to your person, whether it's just letting yourself feel the feelings. Anger is a very common one that can come up. Anger is such a part of it. Sadness is such a part of it. So is joy, and sometimes elated feelings, because we feel we can actually get a fuller sense of just what a gift that loved one was for us. So when I say taking 10 minutes each day, I just mean giving energy. The energy needs to go somewhere. It used to go to tending to this person, caring for this person or this animal that we loved so dearly. So just giving 10 minutes to give that energy somewhere. And even if it's just means getting something out and releasing what we're feeling. And I say 10 minutes for the start, but it could also be longer, and sometimes it will be. But I think if we give ourselves at least 10, that just seems simple. It seems doable. It's like, okay, I can do 10 minutes. I can do that. And it really has become a spiritual practice for me. The way I connect with people who have died is fairly similar to the way I connect with and tend to my relationship with Spirit, God, however you want to call it. And so it's very much your time to go in. And when we have lost someone and we're feeling such intensity of all the feelings, we are actually, when we're grieving, we're in such a deep, profoundly spiritual space. And it might not feel that way because we feel a little bit lost. But I've had people go back to their writing that they wrote when I suggested, why don't you write about that? And they're just so surprised, like years later, how what insight was pouring out on the paper. We just, when we're in it, we don't necessarily see it that way because it's painful. because it is raw and it's intense to feel all those things. Down the road, oftentimes when we're still feeling raw and we're still doing this nervous system calibration and our heart reset, learning a new way of living without this person in our life, other people around us will start to forget that we're still in that. What we give attention to by giving space in our home, we actually allow ourselves to give attention to it in our life. We make something in our environment. So what I suggest is getting a picture of your loved one, maybe meaningful objects of theirs as well, putting things like that in this space. Even if you have a small home, I have a very small home, but I have a little spot, which is where I dedicate to people who I have said goodbye to. Put their picture, put their things, and then you've got this little space so that in the future, the person you live with or who is in your vicinity or friends who come over, they know that when you're in that spot, you've gone to sit in that corner or that seat that you've dedicated to this person who has died, that's what you're doing, and that you're feeling that person, or you're feeling the grief around that. And they know when they see, they will start to form a habit of knowing, and then you're not having to vocalize it and say it. You will get better at reminding people, I'm still really raw, I'm going through some grief. But it also gets old having to remind people because it's so much your existence. So that's a way to let them know, this is what I'm doing at this moment. I'm going and I'm grieving in my grieving corner or my spot. Could be a place outside that you sit, could be just a corner in a room, whatever it is, but it's a place you can go when you want to feel that and tend to that. And that, again, just like Feng Shui, it's like intention, right? And it's a spiritual intention to say, I'm gonna make this space in my home so that I'm sure to make this space in my heart and my life, and others can also see that this is something important to me, and they will help me make space in my life and my heart for this.